Hello everyone, welcome to Anime Amigos. I'm Calvin Atkinson. I wonder what the hell I'm doing with my life.
I'm Risa Guru. I also hate it here.
I'm Randall Jojo Genius. I'm forced to be here.
I'm in the Vanguard Vagrant. I'm only here for the money. And after watching Boy and the Heron, I was inspired. A great inspiration. An inspiration I hadn't felt since I was inspired to put a shotgun in my mouth after playing Saints Row 2022. So I'm here to announce a new independent movie inspired by Boy and the Heron named The Boy and the Pigeon. The Boy and the Pigeon, because, well, let's be honest, I can't find a heron, and you apparently have to buy actual birds. Pigeons, on the other hand, you can just take them for free. They're all over the place. You can just find them.
Yeah, also submit to food.
And you know what? We're so far along in production. We already have our 2 main stars. So let me introduce you to them. Where is it? Now, bit of apologies. He does have dwarfism. He's very self-conscious about it. Don't worry. We'll fix it in post. I present to you the pigeon. Clive. You okay, Clive? Oh God, did you get grape juice on you or something?
It's a sickness I have.
You haven't. Ugh. What is going on? What is going on here? What's going on? Speaking of which, here's the boy. Oh, that's what happened.
Oh.
There's the boy.
You are going to put my desk back together after you've destroyed it, aren't you?
No.
Oh.
Digimon, no!
the pigeon.
Well, that's rough.
Oh, can I do?
At least.
In all fairness, they have been in there for about 3 months.
Okay.
Can I use him to make a broth?
Sure.
At least
Thank
the
you.
pigeon ain't good.
Sure. Here, take this for Pablo.
Can I take a bone actually?
That's not the first time you've made that sentence.
No, I hit the bone and I spilled coffee all over myself.
And it's in the crotch area!
Region.
Don't go wet holding the bone.
Oh, this is so
Come see the boy and the pigeon at your local crack den whenever it's finished. Starring Clive the bloody pigeon and a
skeleton.
bone.
Coming to a kettle.
And can I also point out...
As soon as I picked up
Can I
the
point
bone,
out that we didn't make it... The joke was... It's genuinely not a joke. He genuinely
Yeah.
spilled tea all over his crotch.
As soon as I picked up the bone, my crotch got wet.
That's not the first time you said that sentence either.
And it won't be the last.
Not again, Ren. This always happens.
Right, so... Since our first Ghibli thing we're talking about...
Have we not done any?
We've not done... We've really
No,
not
we
done-
did talk about. Did we talk about Kiki's delivery service?
And I think I did great with the Fireflies. I was sort of
Yeah.
disappointing
Yeah,
at.
Yeah.
But we've not really done much Ghibli stuff. So this is
Right,
a
so this is our first dedicated Ghibli
dedicated
episode.
Ghibli thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we were going to do something about Boy and the Heron, like
When it came out.
when it came out, but it came out Boxing Day.
Yeah.
So
We had Anime of the Year, Anime Mastermind, Anime our spring season round.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it
winter
was just
season
there was
round.
so much going on at the time. It was just like we didn't really have time to do something about Boy and the Heron. And I got the idea when Elliot suggested this. Why don't we? Because this film won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars.
Did it?
Yes. But let's compare it with the other anime film that won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars, which was Spirited
Boss
Away.
Baby.
My original
Transformers 1.
my original plan was to talk about Boy and the Heron and the Overlord movie.
But
yeah, he came up with a bad idea.
I thought this idea was quite good because if you think about it, we've done a lot of these versus matches. We've never done one where it's the same studio, the same director, and a lot of the same team, but they're separated apart.
Was it Hayao Miyazaki?
It's
Yeah.
Hayao Miyazaki. Both films are directed by Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, because this film was also based on his life as well, Boy and the Heron.
Is it really?
Yeah, he does a bit of an autobiographical thing because that's the thing about Miyazaki. He always comes out of retirement when he has an idea that he really wants to do. Because like I think he's meant to retire several times. He was meant to retire
2013.
with Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Right.
And came out of retirement to do Spirited Away. He was meant to retire on Spirited Away. He came out to finish off Howl's Moving Castle. Because that one he had to finish it off because Mamoru Hosoda was meant to direct that. But they clashed over the direction of the film.
He is literally the slayer of the anime world.
Yeah, stuck around a bit longer. Then he really was going to retire in 2013 with The Wind Rises. Came out 2014 for us. But that film was actually marketed on this is his last movie.
Yeah.
And Ghibli kind of went to a bit of a nothing dive after that because Takahata's dead, who was the other big creative head of the studio. You've got nothing, and they were kind of silent. And then in fact, a whole bunch of them went up and did Studio Ponok.
Who's that?
That's a ex-Ghibli animators and directors. They went up and formed their own studio. They did Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Didn't see.
It's a decent film. But I think Hiromasu Yonebayashi, who directed that film, I think his last film, when Marnie was there, was way better. But the thing, so we wanted to compare these two films, Spirited Away and Boy and the Heron. Boy and the Heron.
Wasn't The Boy and the Heron meant also sort of advertised as Miyazaki's last movie?
It's not really been advertised with that.
I think it was. It was very much implied he was going to retire after this one.
Well,
and then all of a sudden, afterwards, I came up with another idea, and he's still working.
yes, he is now working on another idea.
As I said, he's literally the slayer of anime directors.
Because I kind of wonder though.
It's like Wolverine and Deadpool. We're gonna be doing this shit till you're 90.
Do you reckon he just burns through his money that fast? He's like, oh shit, I need to make
No,
a
I
quick buck.
think he just doesn't know how to retire.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, he even when a project's not working so well, he jumps on it. So I'll give you a prime example. He wasn't meant. I don't think he was actually entirely meant to be involved in From Yesterday, but that's the one directed by his son Goro. But
Goro Majima?
no,
Goro from,
His son's Majima from Yakuza?
Goro from Lupin 12.
It's a girl from Mortal Kombat 1.
Yes, that's him.
The boss with 4 arms.
Yeah.
put it this way:
He's a genetic mutation.
his son was meant to direct that, but after Tales of Earthseed didn't do very well.
Yeah.
He kind of jumped on board to say, "No, you clearly need some help with this." And he has said in interviews he thinks that their relationship isn't very good because of it.
My son makes shit films. I hate him.
No, apparently he's very remorseful about it. He says, I probably wasn't there enough for him, and I probably didn't help him out in the best way possible. Mind you, it's also, that same documentary was the one where he was so disgusted by the AI animation.
Oh, yeah. Which I don't think any more people remember from that.
So, it's interesting to think, only 2 anime movies have won Best Picture at the Oscars.
And both are from Ghibli.
Best animated feature, I should say. So, the other in fact, only one non-Ghibli film has been nominated.
Which one was that?
Mirai, and that was more of a posture. That was more of a we didn't nominate the films that we should have nominated you for, so we'll nominate you for this one with Mamoru Hosoda, because no one, when you talk about Hosoda films, no one really talks about Mirai. No, they talk about The Boy and the Beast and Wolf Children and Summer Wars. They don't talk about Mirai, and it's like, yeah, we probably should have nominated for one of these films. We'll nominate for this one, and Sony's actually backing this one, and John Cho's in it, so we actually have a big star spread. So this isn't a category, but I thought, why don't we look at the films that they were nominated against, so see how good the competition was those years. So it was Spirited Away was nominated in the year that Chicago won Best Picture. Its competition was Ice Age, Lilo and Stitch,
Which is funny about Lilo and Stitch.
Spirit Stallion of Cimarron, and Treasure Planet. I mean, that's
Treasure Planet should have won.
Yeah.
I mean, those are strong categories. No, Spirited Away should have won that year. That was.
No.
I mean, out of all of them, there's only one wrong choice in there, and that's Ice Age.
No, it's Spirit, the horse film.
The Spirit's
yeah.
fine.
No, it's naff.
Spirited and the sequel, Spirited Away.
I mean,
Weird extended universe.
Yeah.
so
Just the horse goes to Japan.
Where's the horse?
meanwhile, if you look at the next,
They replaced the horses with pigs.
yes.
Yeah.
Incidentally, in the year that The Boy and the Heron won, it was also definitely one wrong choice that year, which everyone thought was going to win. But it's the year one of Elliot's favourite films, Oppenheimer, won Best Picture.
Woo! Hell yeah, that film's amazing.
It was up against Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Nimona was very good.
Nimona was very good.
Across the Spider-Verse was
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, I would have taken either. It would have been fine if either of those two won. If Elemental won, that would have been so wrong. And I like Elemental, and I'm saying that.
Yeah, I do like Elemental. I thought it was just a bit of a bland film.
I haven't seen it.
It's basic.
I've heard very mixed things about it.
Yeah, I think it got the nomination because of the Disney
Backing.
and they did you have to have a Disney nominee almost every time.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the best animated feature film is called the Pixar Award.
Yeah.
But so I mean, out of the two of them, who do you reckon had the tougher competition?
Spirited Away.
Yeah, Spirited Away.
Spirited Away, yeah, because you got Lilo and Stitch there, you got Treasure Planet there.
Spirit, which is now your favourite film, apparently.
It's not my favourite film. I just said I thought it was all right.
Carl hates horses.
Let's be honest though. If Ice Age had won that year, that would have been so wrong.
Shut the fuck up. How dare you? I love Ice Age.
Ice Age is good, but yeah.
No, I rewatched it a couple of years ago, and mate,
Spirited-
so-
Yeah, so everyone's favourite actor, Ray Romano in it.
Yeah. Also, for the record,
The mammoth.
Oh, fuck yeah.
yeah, Ray Romano plays the mammoth, which is weird because in one of the later films, Drake plays one of the mammoths, which is really.
Oh, my God.
Do you know what's weird? His daughter's played by Nicki Minaj, so there's a cursed casting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's some cursed casting right there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, was there no other voice actors you could have hired?
No, sorry, not.
I mean, anyway, Jennifer Lopez was also in that film. And Jessie J was in a later one as Sid's love interest. Man, her career went downhill.
Did they have a love interest?
Yeah, in the fifth one.
They need
There's a fifth?
There's
Hey.
5 of them, yeah.
They're making a sixth one.
Yeah.
What?
I thought Blue Sky died.
Yeah, but Disney's absorbed it and then now put a new studio in the
Let
process.
it end. Jesus Christ.
I say it's a good end when it gets
Ice
to the
Age
modern
has
day.
not been good since 3.
So I think we need to move into the. So just for the record, which version did we watch? I watched dub for both films. Dub for both films.
Dub.
Dub for both films.
Dub.
So, but even so, we're not going to talk about.
Lubba Dub Dub.
Rubber dub dub.
We're not going to talk about the cast in these the dub casts in terms of the acting in these ones because we weren't sure which versions we were all going to watch.
Okay, wait, hang on. What did we say we all?
We all watched it in dubs, but
Okay.
I mean,
Might as well.
it's a strong cast in The Boy and the Heron because you got
Yeah,
Robert Pattinson,
Dave
Dave
Bautista, Willem
Bautista.
Dafoe,
Christian Bale,
Yeah.
Mark Hamill, who literally plays Luke Skywalker from the sequels
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark.
in this film.
And it's the second time he's been in a Ghibli film because he's also in Laputa.
It's the same Christian Bale as in Hounds.
How Robert Pattinson does not sound like himself as
Yeah,
a Heron.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
wow.
oh my god.
I actually didn't know it was
Yeah,
him until after
yeah.
the film.
Neither did I.
Like, it's a fantastic cast. Spirited Away does have a strong cast, but not as...
Not as much star power.
Because that was after that they got all the star power. But you've got a lot of talented voice actors. Like, Lilo's voice actress plays Sen.
No, Chihiro.
Yeah.
The Max from the Goofy movie voices the guy with who turns to the dragon.
Oh,
Yes.
Haku.
I was.
It's Max from the Goofy movie.
And,
Yeah,
what's his name? Chihiro also voiced.
Is Lilo.
She's also Samara from The Ring.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's
Yeah.
Samara in The Ring.
Yeah.
Oh!
The voice actress for Lynn from the Bathhouse, she's Megara in Hercules.
I thought I recognised that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's basically playing the same role.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Florence Pugh is also in Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Anyone else disappointed that the guy with the multiple arms didn't sound like Dr. Eggman?
No, I was
Yeah.
expecting... You are expecting Mike Pollock's voice to come out of that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know the guy who plays Flash in the live action Spider-Man movies, the most recent one.
Oh, yes.
He's apparently in Boy and the Heron.
What, Ezra Miller?
No, this guy.
Tony Rivoli.
Yeah, he plays Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
in the
if you said
MCU.
Flash Thompson, I would have got
Yeah,
that.
which makes no sense. We look at
sorry, yes.
DC
I
Comics.
thought I said in Spider-Man though. I thought.
He said it. He
yeah.
did say it's Spider-Man.
but
yeah.
he said Flash in Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yes.
So when people say Flash, they automatically think DC.
Yeah, that's true.
sorry, I must have not misheard you.
Instead of Flash Thompson.
I was going to say Flash Gordon as well. My mind. That's why I didn't say the. Anyway, sorry.
So let's go. I feel if I was comparing the casts, which we're not really going to do because we don't on the 5 categories.
Yeah.
It's. I would have said. I think Spirited Away actually has the stronger one. Weirdly.
I say Boy in the Heron.
I say Boy in the Heron.
By far, man.
I'd Boy in the Heron for Robert Pattinson alone.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's performance is fantastic.
You've
in
got
that film.
numerous. Fucking Mark Hamill. You've got fucking Robert Pattinson, Christian Bale, Florence Pugh. Like that. This is A-list. Right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
hell of an A-list cast. I mean, the one thing I will say is that the one who stands out the most is Dave Bautista.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
he's
it's
just
it's solely clear he's doing his
doing-
voice.
And Willem Dafoe as well, I'd say.
Willem Dafoe, yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely an element of that, but then Willem Dafoe's the same in every movie. Although I did spot Mark Hamill almost instantly as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's literally playing the sequel version of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same character design and everything.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go on to our first category, soundtrack. So, very strong soundtracks. I mean, you got one of Joe Hisaishi's best in Spirited Away. Did he come back on to do Boy and the Heron?
I'm not sure.
I'll double check that. And Heron OST.
What about composer?
Yeah, well, I'll have the composer on. Oh, yes, it is Joe Hisaishi. So Joe Hisaishi compared. So this goes into the third one. We're comparing two same guy.
Yeah.
And again, Joe Hisaishi is one of the best composers in all film, not just anime, film.
Yeah.
Like his compositions are amazing.
What films has he done then?
He's done basically all the Ghibli films. He did
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke. He did Howl's Moving Castle, which I think is his best one. Actually, I think Howl's Moving Castle is his best one. Ponyo, Wind Rises.
You're going to be finding these bones for days.
I know.
I love the idea that I'm going to come back next week and think, oh god, you missed another one, Elliot.
He's just lost it to the ceiling,
So,
just straight up.
No, it's just he sits on the chair while it's like that.
so what do you guys?
Accidentally.
So, what do you guys think of the soundtrack?
Coincidentally, without pants on.
So, what do you guys think of the soundtracks then?
Good. I think they're both great.
Still good. I do prefer Spirited Away though.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Why?
Honestly, I think I prefer Boy in the Heavens a little bit.
The problem with Boy in the Heron, it was just a bit too muted, a bit too forgettable.
Well, here's the thing: they're going for different things because the Boy and the Heron's going for an ambiotic look, whereas Spirited Away is going for a more grandiose thing. Which
but it's more in your face. You hear it more often.
You mean ambient?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think of the two, I personally just like the ambient sounds more than I do grandiose.
It's like putting this. How do I put it? Put it in video games. It's like comparing Twilight Princess's soundtrack with Breath of the Wild soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think that's a very decent.
I would say my comparison is going to be Elden Ring, wandering the world to fight the boss.
Yeah, I think you're on something. You do get those occasional songs like.
Yeah.
So, but there's do you know? I think, Elliot, what's your case for why the Boy and the Heron is better? One
Personal taste.
personal taste. That's all.
Yeah, that's literally it. I like ambient soundtracks more than I do grandiose ones.
Oh dear. So we haven't, and the casting vote this time in the case of a tie is going to be.
You prefer Boy and the Heron? Because we have two with Spirited Away, me with a Boy and Boy.
Yeah,
and
I
Heron.
think I'm trying.
Yeah, the problem with Boy and the Heron is that if you're not listening for it, it gets tuned out.
The one
And
thing
it gets forgettable.
The one thing I'll also say is, as well, I don't get that sense it was a Joe Hisaishi soundtrack. Like, normally I hear his soundtracks and I think, yeah, that's him. Like, when I picked up Ni no Kuni, I didn't need the credits to tell me that was Joe Hisaishi did the soundtrack on that. I do think, though, I think he was more clever with his compositions on The Boy and the Heron. That's the thing I'll say on that one. He's very it's a very clever soundtrack. As I feel like it's tougher to make ambient soundtrack than it is to make an in-your-face soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's also easy to fuck up though.
I think also because there was still a couple of songs in Boy and the Heron that were a bit louder and a little bit more grandiose. And I think when the soundtrack's very ambient, those songs stand out like a bit more.
But the song that really stands out for me in Spirited Away is the Flight with the Dragon. In the second half.
That's the climax almost.
Well, that's actually something we're going to talk about these two films. The climaxes is something
Yes.
like the comparisons and these.
How many there are.
Yes.
Yeah.
In both films, actually. Let's talk about though. In terms of the soundtrack, it's your vote, Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Boy
Yours.
and the Heron.
I get the casting vote. I'm going to go for Spirited Away because
I thought you would.
Because I think that the song you get in that moment towards the climax of the film is so good that I think it just wins it outright.
Yeah, I could not remember the sort of climactic music or general themes.
Let's go on to the next topic, animation.
Yeah.
So Elliot gets the casting vote this time.
Oh fuck.
So now a lot to talk about with the animation of these films because there's the same animes, but it's 20 years separating these films.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the first to start? What do you think of the animation quality of Spirited Away 20 years later?
It holds up fucking well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what astounded me when I rewatched it for this.
That's
Because
right.
I've watched this film a lot, but this was the first time I really watched it for like a project I'm doing.
Yeah.
And holy crap,
Yeah. We're
it's held up.
We're also watching it in the context of like AI advancements in anime as well, and like seeing that the animation quality did not remotely drop, over that 20 years.
And you see all those like AI animations online with no effort that do Ghibli, and you so see that, and you think, the AI can't work because it's missed the soul. There's no soul to it that was in that.
Yeah,
those
Ghibli
productions.
has an incredibly unique style to it, which AI would struggle to replicate. I think.
It's done the one thing that great animation should do. It's color and movement. both of these films actually are very good at doing colour and movement. Particularly, I think Boy and the Heron, that's one of its real strong points. There's a lot of colour in that film. In fact, maybe probably more colour than Spirited Away, I'd say.
No, I would argue against that.
Yeah, very much. It's a lot of red. It's a lot of blues.
A lot of red and blues, whereas Spirited Away is a lot more yellows and blacks.
Yeah.
It's all diverse, Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Just you see different environments due to different monsters.
Yeah.
The character designs are pretty good in both.
Oh, character designs are really great.
I mean, the standout character design in Spirited Away was
No Face.
No Face, really. Yeah, No Face really was the thing that came out of Spirited Away as like the most iconic design of that film, whereas Boy and the Heron was the Heron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say I think Boy and the Heron tried to take. Obviously, it took a lot of cues from Spirited Away.
Oh, very much so.
I feel like they tried to Most films have had like some sort of like little cute creature that people like, like the Soot Sprites, for example, and then it was those little balloon-like creatures that flew off a thing.
Oh yeah, the mirror, what they were called.
Yeah,
I thought it was a Toko something.
I don't know.
But I also think they all but then you go to Boy and the Heron, and those advancements are very visible when you watch that film. Like as comparable as they are, there's a lot of huge moments, like the moment when Morihito goes into the delivery room when he's not supposed to. The amount of the use of light in that sequence is amazing.
Yeah, those sequences where he had like kind of flames against his skin and the animation distorted, I thought were brilliant. That was
Yeah, it's very clear. It feels like Boy and Heron feels like all the animators have taken everything they've learned from all these films and then sort of put them into one movie.
Yeah, I also think of like those scenes where the heron's flying and just how brilliantly those are animated as well.
And quite how grotesque as well, like, when he's being swarmed with the frogs, and like, when you first start to see the heron's nose under its beak, and it just
yeah, because it was always going to be very difficult to make a heron to match the lip flaps to the heron, even in the original Japanese, because herons are not inherently animals with
lips.
With like anthropomorphic features and anthropomorphic movements, and they go for a very realistic looking heron at the beginning of the movie.
Did you mean to say inherently? Because that's very
I genuinely I could not mean that was not a pun not intended.
That's very good.
It's like I mean, have any of you actually seen a heron in real life?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I killed it.
And ate it.
It's
In front of its family.
yes.
I thought this bone looked particularly heron neck-like.
It is.
So
You're welcome. I put it
Oh no, the pelvis.
the thing is though, I'm trying to think. There's no weakness in the animation in either of these movies I can think of.
I did notice some background iffiness. There was one bit where in Boy and the Heron where that lady in the boat, what's her name?
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, like there's a bit where she's like kind of rolling along, and there's like a wall in the background, and you can tell it's like a few different layers, and they're trying to make the sort of wall look as if it's like shifting with the perspective. And I clicked onto that it didn't look brilliant, but there are of course similar moments in Spirited Away. But I think that can get a pass given the time scale.
Yeah.
So it was a minor gripe,
But I'm gonna say I'm not giving it a pass on that basis because I'm comparing these two films, and I don't think if we were comparing two anime series or made with that time apart, I'm not sure we'd be as forgiving.
Well, the animation mistakes I noticed as well at the start of Boy the Heron during World War II is when he's running to the hospital. If you look at the background people, they're very warped and not in a typical art style.
Okay.
Yeah, like that bit in particular was seriously done well. And like I also kind of like it because you can also see that as kind of the effects of the smoke. Because when you look at because when there's a fire and you see like sort of the smoke coming out, it looks kind of warpy and a bit weird if you look through it. So you can kind of see it as the smoke just kind of warping how everything looks.
I mean, the episode makes several things that you wouldn't be inherently scary, be quite scary in themselves. So they make you Baba quite scary in Spirited Away, and they got to make the Budgies quite scary in Boy and the Heron. And I think the design they did on both of them. I mean, Yubaba I think is a more creative design than the Budgies. It's weird they picked Budgies as a bad guy.
Yeah.
Also, did we really had no other use for Dave Bautista? We just had to have a villain in this?
Yeah, it's just all of a sudden, he's here as the king.
Yeah, it's super weird. Yeah.
What's, okay.
He also wasn't in the film very long either.
No, it's like, what a waste of Dave Bautista.
It was actually like 3 minutes.
Like, one of the best wrestlers turned actors, and...
mean, how much budget do you have left after the fucking rest of the cast? To be fair.
Yeah, to be fair. But no, I'd say Dave Bautista commands a high price being in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's
I think
that's why they had him.
I was gonna-
That's what he meant.
Yes.
Yeah, it was actually paid per minute.
I mean, we've got two Batmans
Yeah.
and Drax the Destroyer
And Luke Skywalker.
and Luke Skywalker
Oh, it was also the Joker.
and Green
And
Goblin,
Edward Cullen.
and the Green Goblin
And the girl who set fire to the bear in Midsummer.
and Black Widow's
Replacement
sister.
now.
Yes.
Who's now also the face of the MCU. That's a Thunderbolts.
That is an amazing turn of performance. Phew.
Literally.
So, what do you? Okay, I think we're getting a bit distracted. Reese, your vote?
What's this category for again?
Animation.
I'm going to go Spirited Away. It was more diverse.
I'm going to be Spirited Away on this one.
I'm going to throw a wrench in the mix. I'm going to go Boy and the Heron. I think the advancements are a lot more visible.
I'm going Spirited Away. Because Boy and the Heron also has staggeringly good animation, but also I think Spirited Away. One thing we didn't mention, the dragon flights.
Yeah.
The movements of the dragon and like him running away from all the paper things and that ending. It was all so beautifully animated. And the fact that came out 20 years ago and it outdoes so much anime that comes out today.
Yeah.
It's just staggeringly good.
I can't even think of anything in another Ghibli film that kind of matches up to it.
Yeah.
It's very... It almost...
Porco Rosso, where he's flying his plane.
No, not even close. And that had Michael Keaton in.
Yeah.
Another Batman we have.
I'd say some of like maybe the demons, the demon pig in Mononoke, like with all those wriggling worms and things.
Oh, he's infected.
Maybe, yeah, but I would say... I just think in Boy and the Heron, you are right, there's not a sequence and a movement like that in it.
It is also a lot less diverse and less variety.
I feel like we should say we all did like Boy and the Heron.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was good.
I didn't like it that much. Sorry.
I'm not as enamored with it as other people are. I'm gonna be honest.
So, well, we know what you're voting in every single category. Let's.
I think it's going to be a sweep, guys. I'm sorry to say.
No, Boy and the Heron has a chance now. Sidecast. Okay, no, Boy and the Heron's going to lose this one.
Yeah, it's Spirited Away easily.
Let's be honest.
This is going to be our quickest episode yet.
I want to get into just because one of my wider criticisms of Boy and the Heron is just there's so much shoveled in. And
but we go into story structure as the last category, so there'll be plenty of chance for that then.
Yeah, this is also what I mean with characters as well. Is there's that many side characters that I don't care especially.
There's a lot of side characters in Spirited Away.
There were, in all fairness, a lot of the side characters in Spirited Away are a bit forgettable as well.
Yeah, let's be honest. I think there's more side characters in Spirited Away than there is in Boy and the Heron.
So there's more side characters, but they stand out visually more.
Yeah, they do.
And also you spend more time with them and connect with them.
Yeah,
not really for a number of them. Like for example, the Radish spirit.
Yeah, we don't spend that much time with him.
No, don't really.
We mentioned that Yubaba and No Face are the two iconic characters.
From Spider Guy and then Lynn and then.
Yeah, but
there's the big baby who turns into a mouse.
That was amazing. That thing.
Oh, what I forgot to mention as well on No Face, he's voiced by Porky Pig from Looney Tunes.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, the guy with the stammer.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of funny as well that they get a voice actor for him because he literally just goes.
I swear one of the frogs or one of the random weird-looking fellas from Spirited Away is voiced by Squidward.
Yeah, I have any idea how little that narrows it down.
Because I swear I heard him go it's something like, get out of here, and he said it in a really Squidward-like way. Sorry, carry on.
No, I think it is Squidward. Yeah. Okay. I feel like it's kind of the thing about Boy and the Heron is they can't go too deep into the side casting issue because there's a lot of reveals coming later about just exactly who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's a bit of the issue. Like the Heron is the person we spend the most amount of time with, and he arguably is one of the main characters.
Yeah, I was about to ask, are we counting him as a side character?
No, I think we count him and Morihito as the main characters because I think they're both the main character. Which is with Spirited Away. Is Chihiro the only main character in?
I say Haku maybe.
She's the protagonist.
Okay, let's say we include Haku in that, so we don't include Haku in this category. So does that drag down Spirited Away's side cast anymore that we're not including Haku in this part?
No.
What do you think about villains then, in quote inverted commas in both cases, I'd say with Yubaba and the Budgie King.
Yeah, I don't know if I really say Yubaba is much of a villain.
She's kind of an antagonist.
She's a hurdle, but she's not maliciously against Chihiro. I don't think.
Yeah, I'd say she is, but I don't think she's
Not
like
no more than she is everyone else.
She's a dick.
Yeah.
But she is a dick that plays by the rules.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's an honourable twat.
Yes. Which is kind of interesting because the actress had to play her good sister as well, which, by the way, yes, I also saw Wizard of Oz, Miyazaki. So I think the voice actress did a pretty good job playing both roles, and it's did a good job. Yeah. The one thing I don't really like about Spirited Away is that just some characters it stops, like No Face just joins Yubaba's sister out of nowhere. It's like there was no real build to this. It's actually an issue I have with both movies, so they kind of have rushed climaxes.
Yeah, like in Boy and the Heron, it's kind of I guess we all guessed that the girl with all the fire was Mahito's mother.
Yeah.
But Mahito figured that out, and there was no explanation as to how he did. It was just at the very end, he was just calling her mother. I was just like, when did you figure this out?
Yeah, they'll put it this way. They borrowed that. I think Miyazaki had also seen Mirai, because that's a very similar plot element in that.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be the backstory that the mother disappeared for a year.
There we go, that's better.
What do you think then? Okay, but we're also talking about side cast here. And Ren has the casting vote this time.
Okay.
So I wonder where this is going. I think we could.
We haven't talked.
What
we haven't really talked much about Boy and the Heron sidecast that much. Let's be honest.
Well, you got
some of the main ones.
we didn't even go much about the Budgie King, but he's not in the movie that much to really have much of a presence.
Yeah, because the Budgie King's really there's a plot device to end the movie.
Yeah, it's just like we don't really have a climax here. We need the Budgie King for that.
Yeah, so it's also right. It's a Batista, and he destroys the worlds. Problem solved. End of film.
And then the great grand uncle or something like that.
Yeah, the grand uncle.
Yeah, the grand uncle. Who's just Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, it's like
I'm old. I'm tired. Let me die.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill didn't even try again.
No.
But it's weird. Again, it is weird that multiple people came back for their second. That he was one of the two people that came back for their second Ghibli film.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do we reckon then? I'm gonna say Reese. Where's your vote going?
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Not even a contest.
Yeah, no, it does have a much better sidecast.
Yeah, like that. You spend a lot less time with a lot of sidecasts in that film than you do in Boy and the Heron, but they're more memorable. They stand out more. Like, for example, I can name Lynn any day. I could not name the woman on the boat.
No.
Yeah,
despite the fact you spend more time with her.
Put it this way, I watched it again last night and I couldn't remember her name when you said it.
Yeah.
Because she's supposed to be the old woman who goes into the world with him.
Yeah.
And even then, I can't remember her name.
No, and like
I do like the grannies though.
The
grannies in that film are fun.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about one great about the sidecast, the grannies are brilliant.
Yes.
The grannies are great. I like Mahito's dad. I like
Who voiced Mahito's dad? Does he?
Christian Bale.
That is Christian Bale. Yes.
Yeah. Who's just singing his natural voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say because I thought I recognised it.
You do kind of love the moment where he sees Mahito at the door. He goes, then he opens the door, goes back in. Budgies come out, just goes. Mahito turned into a budgie.
I love the fact Christian said, "I'm getting paid to say this. I have the best job in the world."
Yes.
I used to be Batman, you know.
Yeah. And Robert saying, "Yeah, now it's my turn."
Yeah.
He played Patrick Bateman. You can't get. I don't think you could get any worse of a character than him.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on the mercy rule because it's currently 3-0 to Spirited Away. Main characters.
Yeah.
So Reese has the casting vote this time.
Okay.
Not that it matters. We said we're having Chihiro and Haku for Spirited Away, and Morihito and the Heron.
Mahito.
Mahito.
Mojito, who's named after what Miyazaki was
I
drinking.
swear it's because I get mixed up with the way the Heron pronounce it.
No, he literally does pronounce it Mahito.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with another show. Sorry.
Other characters almost don't pronounce the H. They're Maito. It sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's okay. Let's compare the duos. So, a lot of people I reckon would say that Mahito is a more active protagonist, but I think they're wrong. I think Chihiro is way more proactive.
No, I would say Mahito is significant.
I say she's a kind of reactive.
Yeah, she is quite reactive because she doesn't really. But again, she kind of has an excuse of
Like she doesn't have not much agency aside from getting her parents back and making sure Haku's okay. Really,
I like her progression very much because it is like scared girl, kind of powerless. What do you do without your parents? To like becoming resolute. Mahito's kind of.
You do kind of like how she's sort of resourceful, but also kind of clumsy.
Yes.
She's not immediately great at. Even at the end, really, she's not that great at her jobs.
No.
Yeah, well, compared to Mahito, at least tries to fight the Heron with a wooden sword.
Yeah.
And bludgeons himself in the head with a rock.
Yeah. I did quite like that about him, is he's like so kind of headstrong.
What about the relationships between both of these duos? Because I really like the relationship between Chihiro and Haku.
Yeah.
There's something very interesting.
That relationship until the end feels quite one-sided.
Yeah.
Like it's Chihiro that cares a lot about Haku. Granted, he did help her at the beginning, but I think that was more just because you're human. I want to help. I want to make sure you're okay. Meanwhile, she's for more personal reasons.
Yeah.
Whereas you compare that with Mahito and Heron.
They just hate each other.
They
hate each other until they don't.
Yeah.
I do.
Until the plot says they don't.
I do love the whole Heron can only tell a lie bit that one was actually quite a funny moment.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, so is that not true?
Quick question then.
I do like the bit when Mahito's making sort of a cork for the Heron's beak. At first, he doesn't care. He's directing on how to help.
Yeah.
It does help that Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson does an amazing performance.
Delivers so well at playing the Heron.
Yeah.
I think if he hadn't delivered that well, that character wouldn't have worked out as well.
There is less character in Haku. I think Haku's one note.
Yeah, Haku's not really there.
He is kind of, yeah.
Let's face it. He gets most of his character development at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
And even
Most of his character development really comes from Chihiro.
And even then, it's like, oh my god, I remember. I'll just help you, and then I'll resolve the situation. It's not like growth.
So
Heron does show growth.
Does Haku then kind of drags Chihiro down a bit then in this category for best main characters?
I'd say he's a bit plot devicey.
Yeah,
it's sort of something for Chihiro to pursue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's face it, if he wasn't around, Chihiro probably wouldn't have had as much to do.
Well, she would have survived.
I mean, a lot of people have just formulated the idea of a sequel to Spirited Away, but
no, it does not need one.
Absolutely not. It's a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Just wait until Hayao Miyazaki needs money again.
Yeah.
No, but even then, there's never been a sequel to any of the Ghibli films.
Yeah, you can tell Miyazaki is definitely a creative first.
Isn't there a recurring character between some Ghibli films, though?
The cat in the top hat.
Top Cat? Oh my god,
the
Cartoon
cat,
Network.
the Cat Baron. He does appear in 2 movies.
Yeah. Is there any connection between these?
Well, it's because in Whispers of the Heart, she's writing a book about this Cat Baron statue.
Okay.
She's imagining his world. And then they made
Cat Returns.
The Cat Returns, which is the book she would have written.
Oh, that's fun.
That's cool.
Nice.
So that's the only time there's kind of a sequel in a Ghibli film.
Yeah.
As in, we got to see her coming up with the idea, and then we see her idea come to full fruition. Anne Hathaway in that one, by the way.
Yeah.
One
One of her best roles ever. Not even joking.
No, Cal, there's the Princess Bride.
Princess Diaries.
That's it. Close enough.
Yeah, a good film versus Disney slop.
Yeah.
Elliot, it had Chris Pine in it. Everyone's favourite Captain
Julie
Kirk.
Andrews is the only redeeming thing about both of those movies.
What was I going to say?
Also,
one thing I don't think we mentioned with Mahito was kind of why he's so headstrong and resolute. Because there is actually a reason in the story. It's during World War II.
Yeah.
Yes.
During that time period, you're kind of forced to be headstrong, which is why I think he's definitely more. it fits that he's a more proactive protagonist compared to Chihiro, who's, let's be honest, a bit of a brat.
Yeah.
But that's a very deliberate choice.
Yeah.
It's part of her character. Both the characters are part of their character development.
And it's also based on Miyazaki in real life because his father did work in a munitions factory.
Yeah.
So that is true.
And Mahito's whole thing. Basically, Mahito is really the main character over the Fireflies. We get a better support network.
Yeah.
Really.
And also not poor.
Yeah. Didn't have a sister die.
And wasn't so stubbornly caused his sister's death. And yes, he did cause it. I am fed up of debating people this online.
Does. I mean, he does have a mother who died.
Okay, and
It's close enough.
And also, I think actually your point is really interesting. And I was thinking about this the other day, like the kind of cultural context creating the character's actions. Like that's just the reason why Mahito is so headstrong and resolute, because that's what the sort of culture around wartime Japan demanded.
And also why Chihiro's feels quite out of her element, because at the beginning they're moving to a new place. She is going to start feeling out of her element just by that.
And
Let's face it. When we were kids, we all moved home once, and we were really worried about it.
Yeah,
and we were all dickheads.
Yes, absolutely.
Some of us still are.
No,
Cal.
Difference is I was always a dickhead. That's a secret cap.
It's not going to change.
That's a secret cap. I've always been a dickhead. So, oh god, this is actually a lot. This category is one of the closest. We should start with this one. This is one of the closest categories we've had. Elliot, where's your vote going? Do you want me to come back to you?
Yeah, because I'm not sure. I like Chihiro more than Mahito, but I like the Heron more than Haku.
Oh,
that's my thoughts.
That's my thoughts as well. Actually,
I will say Boy and the Heron. I prefer the main character.
Oh, right.
You're going Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Spirited Away because I think Chihiro's final revelation about the character arc is a little bit better than Mahito's. That's what I'm sticking with.
Yeah. Oh, it's insanely close, but I'm actually going to go with Boy and the Heron.
Yeah.
Right. So the casting vote goes to you, Reese.
I'm actually going to go Boy and the Heron.
So Boy and the Heron gets a point.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't it? Because I think that I didn't expect actually to be on board with that.
I think because Mahito and Chihiro are really close for me to being good protagonists. I think I prefer Chihiro a little bit more.
But Haku lets the side down.
Yeah, but I prefer the Heron quite a bit more to Haku.
So can we make
especially because the Heron has more of a personality, I feel like.
And he does more in the story and just in general.
Can we make this free too? Because its story structure is the final category.
Okay, yeah.
Ren laughs diabolically in the corner.
So I thought you meant preemptively. No. Let's discuss it.
Can I? I mean, even if we added a sixth category in right now with the cast, we all put Boy and the Heron on that one.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say on story structure, these films both suffer from one of the same issue I have, which is they kind of don't really have a climax. They just kind of stop.
No.
Not quite.
Yeah.
I'd say Spirited Away is at the very least feels more like a bit of an epilogue.
Which is where I was coming to. Yes,
Meanwhile, Boy and a Heron, that epilogue's like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There's also 10 million climaxes in Boy and the Heron.
Yeah, there's a lot of endings. Sorry, this kind of a guy who watches Lord of the Rings.
I was about to say, this is the anime Lord of the Rings.
Excuse me, there is source material.
Yeah,
to that.
and also, I love all the endings in Lord of the Rings.
Thank you. And also, there's the whole scouring of the Shire that is missed in the Lord of the Rings. Therefore, they wouldn't have had time to portray that and give it the ending it needed.
We're not going into a Lord of the Rings discussion
You
now.
introduced
Why
Lord
not?
of the Rings.
There's always time for Lord
It's
of
in
the Rings.
discussion now. Lord of the Rings wins this category.
Right, Rings of Power Season 4 when?
Shut up. Never, please. Anyway,
Bring back sexy Sauron.
There's a sexy incel Sauron.
Sexy incel Sauron. Sexy incel Sauron.
Hashtag make Sauron ugly again.
Yeah. I think he was hot when he was in the armor.
I think he was hot when he was an eye.
I bet the ring rate.
We don't.
Did you see the size of his tower?
True.
Oh!
His big mace crushed me.
Frodo, when I said you should destroy the ring.
or pound me with your mace, Daddy.
God, this is how. This is what everyone's. This is what everyone around me is like when I'm talking about Karlak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sonic.
Fuck off.
or anything feline at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm never gonna live.
Oh, that's why I brought up The Cat Returns.
I thought I'd gotten away with it. I would have
gone away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids and your damn bones.
We're still doing the bones.
I love another bone.
Which which is now a sentence you also have said.
Do you want a pelvis?
Yeah, good.
We're 1 week. Can you tell we're 1 day away from Pride Month when we're recording this?
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Which is and we're okay. So
What story structure?
I feel like both of these films they have very. I think the big difference is Spirited Away goes straight into it. It's like there's not a lot of time before things go. Whereas Boy and the Heron, it's a little bit of a build-up.
So actually, time Boy and the Heron from the time they go into the fantasy world is 50 minutes. 50. 50.
Yeah, that's a bit.
It takes a long time to get there.
It's a bit too long, in my opinion.
I think with Boy and the Heron, you need that time more than you would with Spirited Away, because with Spirited Away, the parents are just kind of meant to be, standard parent characters. Meanwhile, we're kind of meant to know Nozomi, is that her name?
Yeah,
who's the mother?
Yeah, who's the aunt? Who the father then marries and shacks up with.
You kind of need that. I feel like you kind of need a bit of time to get to know her, and for to see Mahito get to know her, so you understand why he starts caring about her.
Can we also point out that his family relationship is really fucked up when you think about it?
So the mother died. The dad immediately marries the sister and gets her pregnant.
Her sister, I should say, rather.
That's a very different film.
We're not getting Targaryens.
No. We're not. This isn't Norfolk.
This isn't Alabama.
But it's weird because his brother is also his cousin. Well, we don't actually find out the gender of the kid.
I think it is a boy. It was very.
Oh, at the end of the film, it's a brother.
Yeah, I thought
so. His brother is also his cousin.
Yeah.
So I think for Spirited Away, because in my mind the theme is like loss of childhood, like kind of being dropped in the big wide world.
Yeah, and Miyazaki was doing a lot of commentary on a lot of very scurrilous places in Japan.
Yeah. It's kind of childhood to adulthood kind of progression.
Yeah. So you don't need the big intro that Boy and the Heron has.
Yeah.
But Boy and the Heron is exploring the war and the loss of family and stuff like that. I think it does.
I do think you need that time with Chihiro and Nozomi together. To sort of get to understand
but 50 minutes is still a long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah, because it's almost half the film.
Yeah.
I feel like you could cut that down by 10 minutes.
You probably cut that in half. It's like 30 minutes.
And it did make all of the Otherworld stuff feel very compressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other world needed a bit more time.
Yeah. Transitions between the different.
That being said, if you think about it, Spirited Away is kind of like a TV series because it kind of goes from bit to bit to bit. It's not really a 3-act story structure.
One thing I think the two films have in common, they have worlds that doesn't really explain much.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really understand a lot of the things that are happening, and you don't get, any exposition or anything.
It's vibes.
But I think Spirited Away, you don't need that.
I was about
Boy
to
and the
say
Heron,
that.
you really do.
I was about to say, The Boy and the Heron goes really into the mythology of everything that's happening in it.
Yeah.
Like, the reason Morihito's there, this whole succession of jobs.
With Spirited Away, you get all the contextual cues just by looking at it and seeing everything that happens. Meanwhile, Boy and the Heron does not explain anything, and I think it suffers because of that.
And also to piggyback off that around the pacing issue, the run times of these films, Boy and the Heron is 2 hours 4 minutes. Spirited Away is 2 hours 15.
Yeah, and if you'd asked me before, I would have said Boy and the Heron was a longer movie. I wouldn't have said Spirited Away.
I was checking the time for Boy and the Heron a lot more than I was Spirited Away.
Yeah. On last night, I was surprised at how long Spirited Away is because it feels like an hour-long movie, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah. But again, it's because my point. It doesn't really have a 3-act structure because it goes from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. It's almost like it's a TV series that got turned into a movie.
Yeah,
that's not a knock against Spirited Away.
It's just because a lot happens to Chihiro.
Yeah. It's like that. Really, the only thing that needed an explanation is because it's the only thing that's set up for it is Haku,
which we do kind of get at the end.
Yeah. But even then, they kind of leave it a little bit ambiguous because it's kind of like he's a river spirit actually, and
and they do give you hints during it, so it doesn't really come out of nowhere.
I kind of feel like a lot of the biggest mystery in that one is about the whole is his mother alive thing, and the explanation we get behind that is almost out of thin air. I mean, I think I also saw it coming when she was first introduced, but it's not exactly a great plot twist, really.
No.
And again, I think Elliot's point is right. You need more explanation for what's going on in this world. It feels like things are thrown off, like the spirits that become human babies in the other world. That's a bit of a weird moment.
I know.
Yeah, just eaten by pelicans.
Yeah.
And also Boy and the Heron, just there's way too much that happens in it, and it doesn't give enough time for each thing.
Yeah.
Because the Spirits of the Way, everything, you don't get a lot of time with a lot of things in that film, but it all happens at once.
Yes.
So it all kind of feels like you get enough time. Meanwhile, with Boy and the Heron, it's beat after beat after beat after beat, and and it just doesn't give you that much enough time with that. Like things are introduced without any kind of context.
Yes.
But the thing is, though, Miyazaki is very good at story structure most of the time. If anyone's seen any of his films, story structure in Spirited Away is pretty good. Story structure in Howl's Moving Castle is really good.
Yeah.
Go on.
Piss off.
Sorry.
Ponyo is really good.
Yeah.
And Wind Rises is very good. But that's the thing. Miyazaki should have more Oscars than he does have. He should have won for Howl's Moving Castle over Wallace and Gromit, and he should have won.
Porco Rosso.
And Wind Rises should have won over Frozen. Sorry, how many of us would rather watch Wallace and Gromit Curse of the Were-Rabbit over Howl's Moving Castle tomorrow?
I mean, I haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle. I've seen Wallace and Gromit multiple times.
Wait, is it Howl's? I've never seen it.
I have the DVD. I've just never put it on.
Oh, you should watch it.
You should really watch it.
I don't really need to. It's just I'm not very good at actively deciding to put on movies. I only really watch them at cinemas at the minute.
I hate to do this to you, Cal. I love Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, that's how we're going to go.
Wallace and Gromit and Curse of the Were-Rabbit is amazing.
It's so good.
It's so damn good.
I love Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah. I personally think it's overrated, but I do think it's very, very good.
I think.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Reese, are you going to back me up, or am I in the alone?
No, I'm going back over Howl's.
Yeah, fair enough.
From what I can tell, Wallace and Gromit you put on for fun.
Yeah.
And you put on for more fun than Howl's Moving Castle.
I
More
love
for fun than Howl's Moving
a
Castle.
brainless joke. I always think of the.
Sorry, I was pissed off this year when the new Wallace and Gromit got nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't have.
That should not have been nominated.
Why? I love that one.
It's not great. Let's be honest.
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
I actually, to use a comparison, I think that the new Wallace and Gromit did the same thing that Boy and the Heron tried to do for Spirited Away. It tried to hark back to
That is a good point, actually.
It's
Boy
nostalgia bait, I
and
think,
the
to an
Heron
extent.
really is trying to get back Spirited Away.
It just I did notice a lot of those kind of vibes and feels.
Like the food sequence feels very similar to when they go to Yubaba's sister.
Yes. Even the grannies looking like fucking Yubaba.
Yeah, the grannies do look a bit like Yubaba.
I was just kind of thinking, is that just how old people look in Ghibli films, or is this just because I've seen clips of Howl's Moving Castle, and I was just thinking, yeah, Howl and Yubaba do look kind of similar.
Yeah.
They don't look like that in Ponyo.
And they don't look like that in Howl's Moving Castle, really.
Although, no, Ponyo, they kind of are halfway between them, actually, in the way that film looks.
In Howl's Moving Castle, they are, but Sophie gets aged.
Yeah,
and I guess the witch as well.
Yeah,
So,
the Witch of the Waste.
So they don't...
Who, by the way, is way more evil in the books than she is in the film.
Yeah.
I need to read the books. I've heard they're really good.
Yeah, they are. Although Hal's from Wales in the books.
Yeah. So is Christine Bell.
Hey!
So good casting.
In Wales.
Yeah, which is why they're both evil.
Yay!
Welsh independence.
But there's a...
Christian, put down that sheep.
Let's move very
Oh, I've got
swiftly.
myself a live one, eh?
Let's move very swiftly on before I alienate my entire Welsh audience.
Or zero of you. Oh, well, to be fair, the only Welsh audience we've
No,
Behind bars! Anyway.
There's a long story of that. Check the live streams.
Bah.
Let's move on very, very swiftly. Jesus Christ.
What was the...
Story structure.
Yeah,
So,
what was the result?
well, we haven't voted yet.
I was going to say...
I mean, I'm going to give Elliot the casting vote on this one.
Okay.
Reese?
Spirited Away for me.
Ren? I'm also going to add Spirited Away to
No contest. Spirited Away.
Yeah, no, the big thing it does for me is the fact that Boy and the Heron really doesn't have a climax. It just kind of ends.
Yeah, and again, with Boy and the Heron, there's a lot more confusing stuff. Meanwhile, Spirited Away is quite self-explanatory.
Maybe if they made it like a 3-hour film or like 2.5 hours, maybe. Like,
it might have had the time for it, but it doesn't have enough time.
Again, I think Spirited Away tells all its stories at once. Meanwhile, Boy and the Heron does it one after another.
Give us the Snyder Cut, please. Boy and the Heron.
So, what is your guys' opinion of Boy and the Heron then after all this? Because we only gave it one win.
Visually, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Story-wise, I'm mixed.
Yeah.
So yeah, in my opinion, it is overrated.
I think it's one of the best animated things I've ever seen, though. It is. I still think it's brilliantly animated.
Yeah.
I'll compare it to Devilman Crybaby. I think visually incredibly beautiful, pacing, story.
Oh no, I like it way more than Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah, I like it more. But
Yeah, it was just using that as an example.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's very
Yeah.
it's kind of. Can I just point out? Okay, so of the nominees that year, would you have given it to Boy and the Heron, or would you give it to one of the other nominees?
I mean, I
Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, or Spider-Man, or
I would give it to
Spider-Verse?
Spider-Verse.
I really like Nimona. The Spider-Verse was great as well.
I thought-
What was the other one?
Robot Dreams or
Or
Elemental.
Elementals.
Oh, I didn't see either of those.
You don't. No, you didn't dodge a bullet with Elemental, but it's nothing extraordinary.
Yeah.
If I wasn't going to give it to Boy and the Heron, I probably would have given it to Nimona. Nimona was one of my favorite films that year.
You're not big on the ending to Spider-Verse, in all fairness.
I'm not. No, I don't.
Oh, yes, you talked about
I
that.
don't like to.
So the protagonist is Miles Morales. Why wouldn't Cal, as a white man, like him in the
Fuck
film?
off! I love Into the Spider-Verse, and I didn't like the ending of Across the Spider-Verse because it's to be continued. I don't like to be continued endings.
Nah, it was certain we're going to get a sequel, though. It was guaranteed we're going to get a new film.
What do you think of the endings to each of the Star Wars films that aren't 6 or 3?
But at least,
Or 9?
but at least with those ones, we knew those films were
Did you
coming
really
out.
Yeah,
think
we knew we
Across
were
the
get-
Spider-Verse
You-
was
did you-
not going to get a sequel.
Yeah, but
Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse did incredibly well.
Exactly.
Hell, Into the Spider-Verse, you could argue, is one of the most influential animated films today.
and it won the Oscar. In
Yeah,
its
like hell,
15 years.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish took so many cues from Spider-Verse with the animation.
Yeah, but
So the TMNT movie.
Incidentally-
Yeah.
Incidentally, though, we never answered that question. Would you guys have given Wind Rises or Frozen? I suspect I'm the only one, me and Reese are the only ones who watched Wind
I've
Rises.
seen about half of it. I just never got through it. I liked it a lot.
I mean,
I don't like Frozen, so
I'm not massive on Frozen.
No.
I'm gonna be honest.
What about you, Reese? Would you give it to Wind Rises?
Yeah, Wind Rises. The only thing that brought up Frozen was all the karaoke singing from all the fans.
Not even. Yeah. Oh, and really, only one karaoke song.
I remember. Lindsay Ellis described Frozen as crack for toddlers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was just going to say about Cocomelon. Yeah,
Yeah. Which is like one of my favourite John Oliver jokes is that he described Tucker Carlson as Cocomelon for bigots.
So, quick question. Hands up. Who thought Spirited Away would win by a landslide?
Surprised at that, Cal.
No,
Yes, be honest.
I really thought it was going to be much closer.
Now, Spirited Away. I'm
It is one of the greatest movies ever made.
It is one of the best movies ever made. It's
Yeah.
But I
so
thought it
good.
was a good comparison to make because it's the same.
yeah. He's a good comparison. But
Because again, it's like what has the same direction studio and composer and all these people 20 years apart. What are these films like?
and also the fact the Boy and the Heron is the 5th highest grossing Japanese film of all time.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you actually had the full list actually of the 5. Anyone want to take guesses on it? Because I did terrible. on
Number
guessing.
1 is Demon Slayer, right?
Yep, Demon
Yeah.
Slayer.
I got it wrong.
At $500 million.
Yeah.
Your name?
Your second.
Is Weathering with You up
No.
there?
No, it isn't.
No. So third was Spirited Away.
I mean,
You got 2 more left.
Pokemon.
The Pokemon, none of the Pokemon movies didn't get close.
Okay, what was the other? Suzume?
Suzume
that
is
was
number
fourth.
4.
Hey!
Number 5 then. I'll tell you right now.
That was Boy in Heaven, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That is. It's Boy and the Heron is the 5th highest.
Yeah,
grossing.
because you literally said it's
Yeah.
number 5.
Yeah.
So
Incident-
6, you guys will not guess.
Godzilla or something.
No.
It's anime.
Fate Heaven's Feel.
Wait,
No.
purely anime films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I can't tell you now. It's first Slam Dunk.
Would not have got that.
Yeah, the basketball film.
Yeah, but One Piece Film Red was.
Did it?
7.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Didn't the Slime movie get like really high?
It did high, but
Yeah.
not top
But
10.
where's Lupin the Third? Like,
Well
is it
downloaded.
really? Oh,
You gotta remember these aren't adjusted for inflation, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
in terms of how much they grow. So if anything, Spirited Away might go higher.
Cal, Google
If you-
Lupin the Third inflation for me, please.
No, I'm not googling that.
He
Safe
actually
search
really
off.
did it as
I'll
well.
pull the results up on screen as well for the viewers. So they know.
No, I really think I'm going to not leave the result for the
Right,
viewers.
so let's go back to the 7th was One Piece Red, 8th was Howl's Moving Castle,
Ah, yeah, One Piece.
9th was Ponyo,
Really, I'm surprised.
That's
That's
why
And-
Ponyo did that well.
And Turbo Jujutsu Kaisen Zero.
You got to remember,
Oh, yeah.
Disney really.
Jujutsu Kaisen did seriously well.
Yeah.
You got to remember with Ponyo, Disney really pushed the shit out.
Yeah,
of
they
it.
marketed hard for
I'm
that.
How
surprised
well?
Fate wasn't higher.
Yeah.
How well did the Overlord movie do?
Not great. No,
Oh,
these films
good.
don't make a lot of money. These films often
It's
don't.
not
Yeah.
Over-
Yeah, and also bear in mind this is for worldwide totals.
I thought Overlord would have done really well in Japan at least.
In Japan, but then we're not counting worldwide on this one,
Yeah.
so it didn't do well in other territories.
Yeah.
It doesn't get released in certain territories.
Oh yeah.
War for Territory.
Thank you for Sepultura there.
You're welcome.
It's kind of a. I mean, out of all that 10 list, I think the only one that I'm a bit surprised by is the first Slam Dunk. How is that so huge?
Slam Dunk
Yeah.
is like one OG sports anime.
Yeah.
Maybe we're missing out on something.
So,
Unrelated to the topic, Crunchyroll came up with seasonal shows, and Ping Pong the animation was on it. Have you ever seen it?
yeah.
Showed you a little bit
You
of
showed
it.
me the first episode.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking cool. Have you
Yeah.
seen it, Reese?
I've heard of it, but I've never
Oh,
seen
I
it.
love it.
You know what? In that case, I'd say in August we do another first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So you can pick Ping Pong because I recently read fully caught up to the Dark Gathering manga. I want people to watch. I want somebody else to watch the anime. It is fucking amazing.
Can I put in another proposition for a dedicated sports anime episode?
Yeah.
Because I'd love to do a retrospective on Run with the Wind, Crook in a Basket.
Problem is that that's.
Oh yeah, Hanebado, Awashi.
Yeah,
Problem is I've only
I'd also be talk about Gundam Build Fighters as that is the sports anime.
Yes.
You are stretching the definition
No,
right
it
there.
counts. It's a professional sport.
It technically counts.
Okay, then Yu-Gi-Oh
I
counts
was going
then.
to say, yeah, motorsports, yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine, on bikes, it's fine.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it also gets him a chance to talk about Hajime no Ippo.
True.
Yes.
It's technically I could count one of the. No, it's not. Doesn't count. But...
Well, that's a
gonna
just a
say
future
the po-
episode though.
I was gonna-
Compare Hajime no Ippo to Megalobox.
Oh, Blue
That's
Box.
true, that would be a nice
Oh,
comparison.
Blue Box. We can talk about Blue Box.
Yes, absolutely.
That's another really good one I like.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
I hope for season 2 at some point.
So I think that's us for this one.
Yeah.
So next month we're back with anime of the season for summer, not summer, spring.
Oh, dementia.
And it's some really good anime out this season.
This has been a
forward
great
to-
season, yeah.
I've been looking forward to talking about Witch Watch and Kowloon Generic Romance.
Gundam has been insane.
Gundam's been great.
Looking forward to talking about Rock is a Lady's Modesty.
Great.
It was also about Moonrise because that's getting a lot of attention.
Oh, Windbreaker, Lazarus.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The Anime News Network, the Anime News Network reviewers, you have no taste if you're saying that that's a boring show.
Wait, Lazarus is boring. They said that.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck off!
that is.
That's been great.
Sorry, to be fair, I've never really liked Anime News Network's reviewers' opinions because they.
Yeah, me neither.
I've always looked at their worst anime of the season. I've always put something that's actually genuinely good. I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, they're
Like-
just sparking controversy.
Like, Rising of the Shield Hero repeatedly goes on the worst list. And I'm like,
Anime News Network is the Kotaku of anime news sites.
That's right.
no, I'm going to say Comic Book Resources could possibly take that, especially considering their article they did on Fruits Basket. But anyway, we could do this all day. But some great shows to talk about next season. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
The one I really need to catch up on fast is Can a Boy-Girl Relationship Survive?
I really need to finally get started on Gundam.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
yes, you do.
So Gundam has been insane.
Yeah, and I also made a stupid idea to watch the entirety of Fire Force because honestly I kind of forgot most of it. I'm currently on season 2. Gonna get season 3 at some point.
Yeah, because when season 2 came around the season, I was the only one watching it currently at the time.
Yeah, well,
season 3 far behind.
you're the only one keeping up with it as a holdover, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to like episode 18, I think, and just kind of lost track.
Yeah.
Because you said it was a really great ending.
And I think
Yeah,
Fire Force
because a lot of people were expecting the ending as well.
Fire Force has been pretty good this season. Actually.
Yeah.
Apothecary Diaries.
I've
has
been
been a
enjoying
great
going back to
holdover.
Fire Force, honestly. I'm happy I did it. It's been really good.
Well, yeah, because don't forget back in the day how often we all seen Mayday.
See,
Oh, fuck yeah.
I put it this way: Twitter hates us right now because we say we like Rise of the Shield Hero and
Fire Force.
Fire Force is great.
We need to say something quickly so that we're not right wing.
Wife of Gunchild is bad. Shit! They hate us for that as well.
Why do people dislike Fire Force?
Fan service.
Fan service.
Oh, you won't like
There's the one character whose clothes just keep falling off.
Yeah.
And then this season they cook steaks on it.
Yeah.
On it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cooked steaks on her arse this season.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on notes,
Oh yeah.
I don't have bombshell.
thank you.
Fan service.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.